The current issue and topic that I want to discuss is Joma Sison calling President Duterte the number one terrorist here in the Philippines. And to add a little background to the subject or topic, Joma Sison is the leader of the Communist Party here in the Philippines. And there's also some speculation that he was involved in the Plaza Miranda bombing, or he orchestrated the Plaza Miranda bombing, which prompted Marcos to implement martial law. And President Duterte, as we all know, is our current president. Um, he has he is really a character, a unique kind of character, a unique president because he's rather informal when addressing topics, especially when it comes to drugs. He has a tendency to cuss. Plus, very recently, he has implemented the martial law in Marawi. But also, very recently, it has been um, removed. Plus, there are some instances that people say he is involved in extrajudicial killings. That's why I think Joma Sison called him a terrorist. Now, what I'll be doing is I'll be interviewing three people from different backgrounds and seeing what they think about Joma Sison and President Duterte. And I'll be also creating a reflection about what they say.
So like, with Duterte being our president, it seems very unprofessional for him to act that way and talk that way without any like evidence to back him up. I mean, going after someone like Joma Siza, that's the licks. Duterte is making unwise decisions, commenting like that.
Okay, so from what I know about Joma Sison is that he's the leader of the Communist Party here in the Philippines. So I think it's just strange and hypocritical of him to say that Duterte is the terrorist here in the country when in fact that he's the one who's the number one terrorist here in the country. The only reason that Joma Sison is calling Duterte the terrorist is because he's going against what he wants to do here in the country, which is going against his people and the nation, and by terrorizing them with his selfish deeds and acts. So what Duterte is just trying to do is that he's trying to protect us by you know, calling him the terrorist and like not letting him push through with the things that he wants to do. So that's all.
Good day to everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to say that whatever my statement would be for this interview is just my own opinion, and it does not reflect the organization of the AFP. So, as to the claim of Joma Sison saying that President Duterte is the number one terrorist, is of course his own opinion. Because based on the latest proclamation by President Duterte on proclamation number 360, terminating the peace talks with the Communist Party of the Philippines, definitely Joma Sison will retaliate by saying that President Duterte is the number one terrorist. But the truth of the matter is, it is the Communist Party of the Philippines, the National Democratic Front, and the New People's Army are the real terrorists in our country. They form a triangular terror in what is what we believe as the triangulation of this party. Basically, the Communist Party of the Philippines is the head. Now, the National Democratic Front is the shield, while the New People's Army is the armed component of these three organizations. So, of course, Joe Maciso will always say that uh, Duterte, being the commander-in-chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, uh, will say that he himself is the terrorist. But again, what is happening in our country is that, especially in the countryside, we can feel that the New People's Army, being the armed component of the CPP and the NDF, are the ones who are violating all these human rights. They do sabotage, they burn companies who could not pay revolutionary taxes, as they call it. But they are just basically plain criminals. They sow terror to the people on the countryside. In fact, I myself has experienced these NPAs who proclaim to be the real heroes, and yet they are the ones who abduct and who try to extort people of their hard-earned money. So it is just right for us now to really put our acts together and really put a stop to these terrorist organizations. So again, we should be one in fighting the real terrorists and support the efforts of our Commander-in-Chief in leading a lasting peace for us Filipinos. Thank you.
So after I've interviewed 3 people already for the topic concerning Joe Maciso calling President Duterte a terrorist or the number 1 terrorist here in the Philippines, it has given me a little bit more insight about terrorism here in the Philippines or how people respond to it. I could see with the first 2 people that I have interviewed that they don't know much about Joe Maciso or what he's been doing here in the Philippines, but I was lucky enough to have an opportunity to talk to one of the officers of the armed forces here in the Philippines, and it has given me a clear perspective about terrorism and how it affects our nation. I could see that when it comes to people here in the metro area or the city, is that they don't really have concerns because it doesn't affect them, because currently terrorism is occurring somewhere in a different part of the country. So that's why it's not really a touchy subject here when it comes to Manila. Not much people know about acts of terrorism happening around the country or the violence. And with that being said, it's just clear to see that John Maciso, with his ideologies and his views, just counts him as a terrorist. I don't think President Duterte is a terrorist. It's just basic logic to think that President Duterte is just protecting his country. That's why he prompted martial law, just to protect the rest of the country from being affected from acts of terrorism. And I'm glad he did. And that's all I have to say. And thank you for watching my video.